I got the wolf pattern attached to the walnut that I was doing a few videos about where I was gluing and cutting and planing and all that kind of stuff. And in those I mentioned that there was a nail hole that I was going to try to utilize into the offcut. Anytime where I have nail holes or bad cracks or splits or bad knots or whatever, I try to stabilize everything as much as I can, and then I also try to put it into areas where they're going to be offcuts or waste anyways. For the most part, there are times where certain what are blemishes kind of become a design feature. Not too often, but anyways, with this one, there was a nail hole, and it was going to be up in this piece here, and this is just a kind of a trick I do to locate it. I was doing this when I was putting the pattern on, just so I can kind of get it exactly where I want and make sure it's going to be in the offcut. So I just use just a flashlight, and I just kind of put it behind, oh, and you can see exactly where that nail hole was. And you can see where the nail hole was, and then where the pattern lines up. So that's all going to be in the offcut, and that's just a way to kind of confirm that. Sometimes I use the flashlight, depending on if I'm doing it, it's nice and sunny out. Sometimes I could just hold it up to the sun, up to the light, and you can kind of see it, or hold it up to a light in the house or whatever. But the flashlight's kind of a little more direct, so you know exactly where the nail hole is. Just kind of put it on there, and then I can shine it through, and you know exactly where that is. And I understand, as I was saying, that's probably not something that everyone has to deal with. This is kind of a little a little bit different, but it's just something I like doing. Like I mentioned, I try to use as much of the wood as I can, especially if it's reclaimed wood, and especially if it's certain types like this walnut. I try to get as much out of it as I can. So if I can use that board but that had that nail hole, but it actually doesn't affect any of the project, whatever, because it's going to be in that offcut anyways. So anyways, now that's all attached. It'll go to the drill press.